Hey guys, so today I'm gonna be making a VTOL RC plane, guys. So you see I got all my materials right here, and yeah. So first of all, this is gonna be one of my craziest projects I'm gonna do because I never made something this crazy. So basically, I got two motors, two ESCs, got these big servos right here for tilting the motors. And hopefully these can work for that. And then we got some regular 9-gram servos for the control surfaces. As you can see, we got these two carbon tubes that I hope I can use to hold the motors and also support the wings. So this is gonna be a 1 meter wingspan, because if you add these two, it equals to 1 meter. And I 3D printed this little bracket thingy. It's like a sleeve, so you can put this in there and that in there, and that joins these two together. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue in there, and then that will be it for that. As you can see, nice and joined up together. And then I got some aluminum little rods here for the landing gear. Here are the landing wheels. As you can see, 3. And what I'm trying to make this based off of is a V-22 Osprey, so I'm trying to make it something like that. And then here are the motors. As you can see, boom. And these motors are 35, 30 size, 1100 kV. So pretty high kV, and planning to run this on 4S 2200. So yeah, I got some extensions right here and a Y cable, Y splitter, and some extensions because the ESCs are gonna be sitting like in the wing, so gonna need some extensions, and then the Y splitter so that I can connect both of them to one single battery. And then I have some propellers here. This is the normal, the other one's reversed, so it's like this. But these are 10 by 4.5 size. And then I got my Lemon RX 8-channel receiver right there. 8 channels, as you can see. Oh wait, no, 7 channels I meant to say. And then I got some push rods for my control linkages. And yeah, that's pretty much everything I need to make this plane work. I got some foam board sheets, so that's what I'm gonna be making that of, just like my P-51. But yeah, so this is some of all the stuff I'm gonna need to make it, so hopefully it works out. Alright guys, so what I'm gonna be doing right now, joining these two carbon fiber tubes together. So for that I got some CA thick adhesive and some accelerator for it so I can dry quickly. Right here I got the 3D printed tube I made. I custom designed this in Blender. So it has an outside diameter of 21 millimeters and an inside diameter of 18. So this lies right on top of one of these tubes. Look at this. Perfect fit. So if you measure this halfway, it's about right there. And then, whoa! Oopsies guys, I dropped one. But we can slide the other one in. Just like that. And there you have it. Perfectly straight carbon rod. Super long. This is 1 meter, guys, which is going to be the total wingspan of this plane. So let's just pull these out a little so I can apply some of this adhesive inside, but I'm also gonna do a ring on the outside. So, wow, this is really tight. I think it got glued shut. Whoopsies. Okay, there you go, guys. I gotta open some pliers. So, I'm just gonna be applying some of this on here. And then I think I can just push it in. And that will give us glue inside, I believe. Oh, wow. It already dried? What? How? So quick. Anyways, I'm gonna put a little bit around this, like a bevel kind, I guess. It's not the best, but at least it works. And I'm gonna apply a little bit of accelerator. All right, that should be all glued up now, hopefully. And now that's not going anywhere, so if you can see in there, I think it's supposed to be a little more in. It's about halfway. Okay guys, so now that I know it dries super quick, for some reason, I'm gonna try to be quicker on this side so that I can get these two touching on the inside. Okay, there's the ring, first ring, and then push it in all the way, twist it around to get that glue evenly spread. And then let's add a little bit more on the outside here. Okay, I think that should be about good. Then we're gonna hit it with some accelerator. And then there we go. Close the glue. We don't want it drying out, do we now? So there you have it, guys. Camera doesn't want to focus, but should be all glued up, I believe. And now we got the 1 meter carbon tube. So this is going to be supporting the wings and the motor mounts that will be tilting forward and back. And each one's going to be tilting individually so we can have control during a hover with the plane. So hopefully this will work. So now the next step to building this thing is doing the actual airframe, I think, which would be the next step. And then putting the electronics in and then testing all the electronics, making sure they all work correctly. And then after that, we would do more programming and stuff to make sure we can get the hover stable and not all crazy. And then also check out the forward flight of the plane to make sure that works too. But right now I still need to design the airframe. I think I'm just gonna make it like a V-22 Osprey kinda. So yeah, now I'm gonna be doing that. So this tube is just gonna go inside of the wing, and it's gonna stick out a little bit to allow the motor mounts to go tilt on each side like that. So I have a motor right here. Basically, I'm gonna 3D press something so that it sits higher up and it's gonna tilt like this, kinda. And to control it in a hover back and forth, it will move a little bit so it has some pitch control. And then for yaw control, I can make one pitch forward and then the other one pitch back, or the other way around. And then to control the roll, I can make one motor have less power than the other one, and I'll make the plane tilt towards one side during the hover. I think during forward flight we won't need none of that, so I'll just keep them fixed forward with the servos, because we're gonna have the control surfaces, remember guys, so we can use it as a regular plane We don't need no thrust vectoring or none of that. But yeah. So now I'm gonna be designing the airframe, which I think I'm gonna do how I've done my P-51, which is I print out like a blueprint of it, 1-to-1 scale of what I'm actually gonna make it out of, and then I just trace those pieces out onto the foam board, and I cut it out, and then I just make the plane out of those shapes. So yeah, let's get to that part. Alright guys, I got the blueprint printed out here. As you can see, 1 meter wingspan. So this is the tube that's gonna go inside. As you can see, it goes end to end. And it's about 39.5 inches. So yeah, now I just need to cut this out of foam. Alright guys, so as you can see, the wings are actually forward, tilted a little bit. But on my version, I'm just gonna make them straight like this. So that's a little modification I'm gonna be doing. But besides that, everything else is gonna be scale to the V-22 Osprey. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna start making the wing out of the foam board. So I have 5 sheets of foam board to make the whole plane here. As y'all can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think these are 5mm thicks. But you can see I got there the blueprint and the wing. So as I said earlier, the wings are tilted forward on the actual thing, but I want them to be straight. So I did some slight calculations here, and basically this is the shape of the wing right now. It's like tilted like this forward, but I want to make it a perfect straight square. So what I calculated was the area of the wing, because I want the same area. So I did the area calculation for a trapezoid, and then I put that in the rectangle, and I made the length equal to the longest point of the old wing, because the top was 12.25 inches but the bottom was 13.25. So what I did was I made both of these 13.25. So yeah, what I did was I divided 77.77 by 13.25. I got 5.9, but I just rounded up to 6 so I can get a little bit more wing area. Hopefully that helps with the handling of the plane in forward flight. But yeah, so now I just need to cut this out in foam board. So I'm gonna take one of these sheets and I'm just gonna cut it out. Get this blueprint out of the way. So I got my ruler right here so I can do my measurements. So the wing, 6 inches, guys, as you can see. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna cut it out. So the wing thickness is 6 inches, so I'm gonna make a mark at 6 inches, which is a relatively small wing, guys. Usually my wings will be thicker. That is really small. Look at that. It's only this thick, the wing. Really small. I don't know if that's actually gonna work. How about, well, I mean, the wing is really long, so you know what? I'm gonna boost it up to 6.5 inches, guys. 6.5. So that looks a little better. Looks a little better, guys. It's a much thicker wing, even though it's already much bigger than the original wing area. So now I need to measure out 13.25 inches. So my ruler only goes to 12. So put the mark at 12 and then add 1.25 inches to 12. So boom, right there. That second mark, that's 13.25 inches. So Then we just need to cut out from here, like that. Oh man, I'm not gonna cut it out. I'm gonna add the airfoil, guys. The airfoil, you know, the shape that curves on the top. I need to add that, so I'm gonna basically just duplicate this onto the top. So let me do that real quick. Well, actually, first I can make both of the wings out of just one sheet of foam. I've never done that before. Since this is the smallest plane I'm gonna make. It's only 1 meter. Pretty small. So let me just make a line right here. Watch it. Let me go ahead and do this first. So I'm just gonna add this and draw this. And I'm going to continue this line all the way. So there. I'm going to check if this is actually 13¼ on this side. Oh, it is not. I did not draw the line straight. This is supposed to be right there. Oopsies. Messed up. So a little bit. There we go. So messed up my measurement, but as you can see, this line is pretty straight, I think. I'm just gonna cut that all the way, and that should be 13¼ inches. And then I'm gonna fold the airfoil over, and I'm gonna create some wing spars along the wing so I can shape the airfoil. Alright guys, I traced out the Clark Y airfoil. This is the airfoil I'm gonna choose for this plane. It's the basic airfoil. So I think I could do probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably 4 ribs are fine across this. This is a really short wing. So this is the whole wing right here, guys. The rest of it is actually the pod of the motor, which I'm gonna be making. But yeah, so let me trace that out. Or actually, let me cut this half of the wing out. This little half. Well, let me put something under it because I don't want to scratch the table. Alright guys, I got me a nice little piece of cardboard here to put under. So when I cut, I don't cut the table or scratch the table. So let me get y'all a little bit closer so y'all can see this. Just like that. Y'all can see that pretty good, right? A little lower. There we go. So now that y'all guys can see, let me cut this out. Alright, so I'm gonna cut across this. Whoa, why is that making that squeaky noise? Alright. There you go. There's our wing. Or at least the unfolded wing. So now let me make another 6½ inch mark on this side. So go to 6½ inches, make a mark right here, and then connect these two. So boom, that is the first half of the wing. This should have approximately, so this is 13.25, 6.5. So let me pull out my calculator so I can calculate the wing area. So if we do 13.25 times 6.5, that gives you an area of 86.125. So that is almost a whole 10 inches square more wing area than the original. So hopefully this improves the handling of the plane in the air, because these are really small wings for how big the fuselage is. Oh yeah, I have the fuselage blueprint, so let me show y'all that. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have the blueprint for the fuselage, and I don't know if I can tell, but that thing is like super long compared to this little bitty wing. Y'all think this little wing can fly, have enough lift to carry this whole plane? Look at that. That is so small. But apparently it will work, so we'll see. Alright guys, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out the airfoil shape for them so I can put them right here with some hot glue, and then I will curve the airfoil over, and then that'll be the first half of the wing. But before I do that, let me take out the paper off the inside of this foam board, because this will help us save weight, and it will make the plane, it will help us curve the airfoil. So, oopsies, I ripped some of the paper right here. But there you go. So this side, as you can see, it wants to curve already by itself, and it's much lighter now because it doesn't have that extra paper. But now I have to redraw the line of the 6.5 inches. Six and a half on each side, and then connect that. What? I think I messed up. So 6.5. No, I did 6. Instead of 6.5 on this side. There we go. This should work much better. Whoa, my pen came apart. There we go. So 6 inches. Just like that. But we should make another mark about half an inch in front, so that the airfoil can actually curve over, because that's where I'm gonna make the main fold at. So I added about half an inch there, and this is gonna be where we crease the wing so that we can have the airfoil shape. So I'm pressing down hard with the pen so it's creasing the foam, and then I wanna naturally fold there. But we also want a slight fold here, so I'm gonna crease this, but not as hard. Just slight pressure. So there we go. Now I'm gonna cut out the airfoils. So let me cut out the other half of the wing so I can use the rest of this material to make the airfoil shapes. As you see, we have some extra space here. I can use that to cut out the airfoils. So let me line this up. I actually realized that I didn't make this square, so that's some bad news there. Actually, no, this side. This side should be square. Yeah, that is no good. Uh-oh. I need to trim a little bit. just a slight little bit. Oopsie. So trying to make this edge square because right now it's like it's curved like that. We want this edge to be as square as possible so that the plane, the wing will sit flat and square on the fuselage. Yeah, so now this should be pretty square. Let's check on the table. It's a little bit curved like that. It's super little that we could just fill up that gap with glue. But there we go. Now that's done. So let me take the square edge that's already nice and flat and square and make my mark so I can cut it out. So I'm gonna do 13.5, remember guys. So 12 inches plus 1.25 inches. That will give you 13.25. And that should be the mark where we cut this. I'm just gonna get down and make sure the ruler is pointing straight at that other point. Can't even see it over. Oh well, just make sure it's pointing over there, somewhat in that direction, and then draw a line, and then continue the line over. Okay guys, there you have it. Now I just need to cut out this line right here. So I'm gonna use the ruler this time so that it's a perfectly straight edge. Not like last time. I cut it out by hand and that didn't turn out too good. So that should be better, and with this extra leftover strip I can cut up probably, I think I can fit 2, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But let me take off the paper off of this because it has a sticker here, so may as well take that out. Oh, I already ripped it. Oopsies. It keeps on ripping. Oh my goodness. There you go. Hopefully this will calm out. There we go. And there the paper came out. As you can see, it's curving like that. Now let's make the 6.5 inch marks. Six and a half right there, and another 6.5 right here. So boom, there we go. And then draw a straight line from one to the other. And then make another mark about 1/2 inch on front so that we can fold it there. We're gonna fold the wing to create the airfoil, because we don't want a flat wing. A flat wing won't produce any lift, and then the plane will crash. Alright. So now we have two identical pieces. These will be each wing, and in between is gonna go the fuselage. And then on the outside of the wings will be the rotating motor pods that will transition from hover to forward flight. But let me cut out these wing ribs out of this. I'm gonna take the paper off of this because we're trying to save as much weight as possible. So by removing the paper, we're saving weight little by little. Over the whole plane, we will save a lot of weight. And the lighter it is, the less throttle we will need to use to hover it. So yeah, let's cut out the wing ribs. Alright, so I'm just gonna cut out this shape out of the paper, and then I'll just tape it onto the foam so that I can trace it pretty good. Okay, so there is the Clark Y airfoil cut out. And I'm just gonna trace it. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. We can even put 1, 2. I don't know, we might be able to squeeze 3, but I don't need to squeeze it that tight because we only need 4 per wing, so we need 8 in total. So let me get a piece of tape to tape that down. So I got some tape right here. Just needs like 1 piece on each side. So 2 small pieces, just like that. And then since the bottom is flat, we can tape it down like that. So now that it's taped to the foam, we just need to cut out that shape, trace it, and then we'll have our airfoil shape. Hopefully. And then I'll just copy and paste this about 7 more times. But there you go. There's the Clark Y airfoil shape. So this will help us give lift by creating a high pressure and low pressure difference between the top and bottom. So now I just need to make 7 more of these. So I'm just gonna go. Oh, I forgot a little piece of paper right here. But I'm gonna put about 1 on the end like this, 1 here, 1 here, and another 1 on the other end. So that should give enough support to the wing so that it has structural rigidity, and it will give us the airfoil shape. So let me cut out 7 more of those, guys. Alright guys, so I don't know if y'all can see. Here we go. I traced out 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I just need to cut these out. Alright, so now I have cut out all 7 of them. I mean all 8. Because they're 8 in total. So as you can see, they're all identical to each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 airfoils I have made, and they should all be identical to each other. So now I just need to glue these onto the wing and then curve it, and then yeah. Alright guys, so to evenly distribute these wing ribs across here, I need to take this measurement and divide it by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Or actually I need to divide it by 3 because I don't know. Let me check. 13.25 divided by 4 equals 3 and 1/3 inches. So let me check that out. Yeah, I don't think that's it. 3 1/3? No. Wait, is it? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that doesn't look like it. Because that will be divided into 5 equal parts. So if it's 13.25 divided by 3, that gives about 4.4 inches. So I think that will be more accurate. So let me make those marks. Wait, what was it again? I forgot. 4.4. 4 and 5, 12. I don't know what that is in centimeters. But 4.4, something like that, I guess. Boom. And then, yeah, that's much better. Much better. Alright, so let me get the hot glue gun out so I can glue those on there. Alright guys, so I got the hot glue gun heated up. So, it's right here. Now I just need to put some glue on these ribs. Just like this. And we might need to cut them out because I'm gonna need to make the holes for the wing spar, the tube. So if I grab it right here, it's gonna go somewhere around here, probably like right there. And you can see it's gonna be sitting like this. And then I also need to make space for the wires to go through here because we have the ESC sitting in here and all that other stuff, servos for the wing, the motor. And yeah, it's just gonna be a bunch of stuff. So hopefully this will work. So I'm just gonna cut a slot out probably. A little slot, like straight down. But I'm just putting some glue on these things. And there's only 4 of them, so shouldn't be too much trouble. Hopefully. I think. So once this is done, I'll cut out the slots for the wing spar to go, and maybe even another little slot on the side for the cables for the motor servos and the ESC to go in, because we also need space for that, right? One problem I didn't think about was the ESC cooling, but I don't think it will be getting too hot in there. Hopefully, because I don't want my ESC to just be melting inside of the wing, and then it might even melt the fall, which is, we don't want that. So I really hope that doesn't happen. But also, I might need to make a little access hatch. Oh, well, there we have 4 wing ribs, as you can see. glue it on there. Now I just need to fold this over. I mean, before we fold it over, I need to cut out slots like that so you can put the wing spar in. But also, the ESC, or at least the ESC we need to put in, because if you didn't know, guys, motors will be on the wing tips. So here's the ESC itself, but I also need an extension to get the cable in. So this is gonna be something like that. I don't know if I should put the ESC in the front or the back. Probably in the front. On the front, and then wing tube like in the middle or closer to the back. Because the wing tube is also gonna be the pivot point for the motors. So I'll try to probably put in the middle or a little more forward than the middle. ESC on the front so the cables can go up and out. But yeah, let me make those marks so I can chop all of this probably about there. But also we need to check that oh no, yeah, we'll have clearance. I'll try to make it so that the wing tube stays in the middle of the wing. We don't want it on the bottom, sit on the bottom like this, or on the top. We want it then in the middle. In the middle, a little forward probably, so that, because we want the motors, when they're tilted up on the hover, we want them to be on the center of gravity. So yeah, got this carbon tube right. So let me make those marks and then cut it out. So where did my pen go? It's right here. I'll keep the glue gun separate. But so here, about here is the middle. I want it a little forward, so probably like around here. Something like that. And then just gonna cut that out like that, probably. And then we'll just drop this tube down in there, just like that. And then hopefully it works. Actually, I think I should do it maybe a little more forward. What y'all think, guys? Yeah, a little more forward, because this is gonna be on the center of gravity. I don't want this plane too tail heavy. I want it to be more stable. So this is the actual hole. I think that will be good. Right there. Yeah, it looks about right. Let me cut that out. Well, actually, let me check if it's the right width. It seems to be just about right. I don't know why the foam is so squeaky. Oh well, there we go. We cut it out. And this should just slip right in there, yeah. Now we just need to copy and paste this hole across all over there, and then I'm just gonna put glue in there. And this will also serve as the wing spar, not only just as the pivot point for the motor. So yeah, let me make this cut across all the wing spars. Alright guys, so there I have all the little slots cut out. So this wing tube just goes, slides in right there. And then I'll just put a little glue on each one. I'll have to see how much I leave sticking out of the end, because I don't want to leave too much out, because also I gotta remember how thick is the fuselage. But I'll see that later. I'll do that later. But first of all, also let me cut out a little bit of little slots to put the ESC cables in right here and the servo cable, because we also have the servos right here. See this servo? It's the bigger servo. These are 21 gram size servos. These are gonna be rotating the motor, so also gonna have that cable going through here. Something like that. I'll need an extension for that, but I have those already, so it's gonna be something like that, guys. Something like that. And then the wing tube will just go in the middle. Just like that. Just like that. And that will be our wing. Or at least the left wing. And then I'll make the right wing. Well, I mean, this could be the left or right, but I'll just do left first. So, let me do that. Alright guys, so now I got everything like nice and organized here. So what I did was I just cut a little slot here. Boom, boom, boom. For each rib to pass through the cable. So as you can see, the ESC sitting right here. And then we got the servo. And all those cables are just running through here. So hopefully this will work out as intended. And I put some tape over here so that when I glue it, I can still adjust the cable. Pull it in or out if I needed to. But I marked out where the fuselage would be. So from here, this is how wide the fuselage is. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this line right here, and then I'm gonna glue this tube in there, and then yeah, that should be it. Alright guys, so I'm getting ready to glue in this carbon fiber shaft tube, wing spar, and then I will fold over the wing, and that should be it for the left wing. This is gonna be the left wing. And then I'm gonna 3D print some sort of bracket on here to make the motor rotate on that. Now it's gonna be it needs to be above the shaft. It's gonna be like sitting somewhere around here. It's not gonna be really close to the shaft because that won't be a scale to the V22 Osprey. I'm trying to make it look just like it, because the motor pod thingies on the side, they're like this big, so motor's gonna be sitting like probably like out here. Gonna rotate all the way like that. With this servo attached to a 3D printed gear, also is gonna somehow rotate this. So I'll see that after, but right now I'm just putting together the wing, guys. So I'll worry about this last probably, because this is the most difficult part I would say to make of this plane. Making the motors rotate on here like that. So I'll save that for last, but right now I'm just gonna glue in wing spar and then close the wing. So hot glue should be heated up enough. So I'm gonna take out the wing tube. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on each thing right here, just like this. Wow, really messy. I think I have the glue a little too hot. It's melting the foam. This is not good. Oh, make sure that is lined up. And then I'll press it down and hold it. Make sure it is level. Right? We don't want it sitting up or down. Alright. There you go, guys. It should be holding up good, I think. So let me put a little bit more glue on the top. and on the side, because we don't want this tube going anywhere, guys. If this moves, the whole motor mount's gonna move, the wings gonna move, and everything's gonna move. So this is really critical. We need to make sure it does not move, not even one little bit. So yeah, make sure this is nice and glued in. I need to put a little bit of foam in here. I made that part a little too big on accident. Alrighty. Okay, it looks like it's almost getting close to dry. This is already dry. So, yeah, the next step after this is to make the other wing. And then the fuselage and tail section. And then after all of that's done, I worry about the motor pods that rotate, because that is the most complex part of this plane. So yeah, I think I'll leave that for last. But right now I'm just focusing on building the airframe itself. So yeah, let me let that glue dry and I'll be back. Alright guys, the glue is about done drying, but I just realized I forgot about another thing that I need to do is need to cut out a space for the ailerons servo, because we need ailerons for the forward flight, so probably be in like the middle, I think. Something like that. But I'll do that once the wing is folded over. So this glue is all about done drying, so whoopsies. I let a little bit of glue get on the table. That's not good. There you go. Alright, so there's the wing. As you can see, ESC, cables, all that going inside through the wing. Now, I've seen some people, they put the cables through the wing spar itself, but fortunately I sealed that off. As you can see, right there. But now I need to focus on folding this over. So it's gonna be just like this. Something like this. Just like that. I have some extra material, but I'll just cut that off. But I mean, if you can see, it's gonna be just like that. So let me mark where I need to cut this extra material that I have here. About there. So let me cut off this extra material. Wait a sec. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna trace a line first before I cut. Just to make sure. Alright, so now put the cardboard. Try to mess up the table. You know? Now we just need to cut this. Cut this out. Boom. Now we have this extra. We can use this for something else later. But right now, we just gonna fold this wing over. And if you see, now this closes up perfectly. Cut a little bit. Could have cut a little shorter, but that's fine. But that's the wing. That's really small, guys. So yeah, let me just put some glue right here. There, and there. So when I close it, it'll stay closed. I think the hot glue gonna still warm, so let's do it. Or actually, it's not. It's warm, but I need it a little warmer. So let me let it heat up a little more. Alright guys, now that the hot glue gun is heated up better, now we can close the wing. Need to do this fast before the glue gets cold. Alright, close it. Closing the wing. And I'm gonna hold this for a couple seconds. Make sure it's nice and tight. So I'm gonna hold this for about 30 seconds probably. Alright, so glue should be drying, finished drying, but it doesn't need my help. So, as y'all can see, there's the wing, or at least one of the wings. Relatively small. I don't know, guys. Do you think this can help? I mean, this will actually fly the whole plane? I don't think so. But it's supposed to, apparently. So we should be able to still freely move these cables. So yeah, I can move this servo cable out, in and out still. And then we got the motor wires right here. The motor is just gonna plug into here. Doesn't matter the order, but it'll be plugged in something like this, and it'll be sitting up here, and it will just be tilting forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. And then this servo's gonna sit somewhere here. I don't know exactly where yet. I'll design that in the mechanism, but yeah. That's it for today's video. This is the first part of building the plane, guys. So stay tuned for the other parts, because this can be a multiple part video. Because this is a really big project I got here that I'm doing. So it's gonna be multiple parts, probably more than 10 parts, or I don't know exactly, but more than 5, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, stay tuned for those other parts, guys. But I hope you like this first part of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go watch my other videos. And that's for today, guys. Bye, guys.